Let's run the intro for the football G-spot, and then we'll bring him on.
I love football. Knock on wood if you're with me, everybody.
Can I finish my point?
That was a pretty good. That was a pretty good intro for these guys.
Long.
Well, no, we don't want it to be that long. We have them on the air. Thank you guys for both coming on. So I don't want to make it just X's and O's. We do have Coach Gruden coming back. He's going to break down some film for us later. But the knee-jerk reactions from around the league, and we sent it. Greg, here's a question for you. Have you seen any? Did you just watch the highlights of the last night's game if you're on the plane?
Yeah, Mondays are tough for me. I literally just got off a red eye, ran home, changed my clothes, brushed my teeth, and jumped on with you guys. So I'm catching up via social media. I'm seeing clips. I've looked at some of the scores on the flight through the middle of the night. But the only game that I've actually sat down and put eyes on and have a real good feel was obviously the game that I called, which was a hell of an ending. San Francisco at Seattle. San Fran kind of stubbed their toe multiple times throughout, but put together a great drive at the end to pull off a big win there on a kind of miraculous pass by Purdy. So that's really the only game that I got to see and caught a little bit of last night's game also.
So then we'll go with you, Coach. Knee-jerk reactions from around the league. Who impressed you? I have a little list here. You can go with whatever. Teams, the worst teams for me, Giants, Pats, Browns, Dolphins. Those teams are all trash. One of them mine. Done. Might as well put a fork in their season. The best, Chargers, Packers, Commanders, Eagles. Both teams I thought looked good. But what did you take away from yesterday's action?
Well, I think the New York Giants, when you leave the Giants, you play good. I mean, Daniel Jones, what a story he is. I mean, he goes into a long list of Xavier McKinney, Leonard Williams, Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones played great for the Colts, and he really gave them a shot in the arm. I was shocked at the game last night. You know, you score 40 points, you rush for 235 yards. I think teams are 277-0 when that happens. But when Buffalo comes back to beat Baltimore, that shocked me. I was impressed with a lot of the new defensive coordinators, honestly. Al Golden in Cincinnati, Lou Anarumo in Indianapolis, Salah's return to the 49ers, and this Anthony Campanelli of Jacksonville. These four new defensive coordinators did some good stuff. And then finally, I love seeing what Aaron Rodgers did with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 4 touchdown passes, and I was really fired up for Geno Smith getting his first win as a Raider. Those are just some of the things. It's still opening week, a lot yet to be decided.
So we had this debate earlier. The game last night, in a coach and a player perspective, this is an interesting one. Who do you think feels better coming out of last night's game? Ravens, Bills. Really a miracle win by the Bills. They were dominated most of the game. They score the second to last touchdown, bounces off 17 guys' heads, hands, total fluke touchdown. It's a 4th down play. They don't score, game's over. Then you get Henry with a fumble. I don't have the stats. I don't think he ever fumbles. That's a fluke play, basically. You recover that. They had no business winning the game. Bills are 1-0. Ravens are 0-1. Who would you rather be in that locker room? I'll go with you first, Greg, since I'll run air traffic control.
Yeah, I like that. You're a pro.
Thank you.
Listen, you and Coach knows this. You never apologize in the NFL for a win. And it's a lot easier to coach that film coming off a win, the high, the home game, starting it. But I think when all the dust settles, I think as you just look over what model is more sustainable, right? As the season goes on, it just seems like so much of the workload falls on Josh Allen. And yes, he's the MVP. Yes, he's the best player in the league. It is just really hard to count on Superman performances from one guy every single week throughout the course of the season, right? Sometimes the ball's going to get tipped and it's going to get picked instead of being a touchdown. So I think if I'm Baltimore, I'm saying, you know what? It took a Herculean effort by Josh Allen between Lamar Jackson, our offense, Hopkins, obviously Derrick Henry. He doesn't fumble. Some things didn't go our way. We were on the road in a really hard place to play. As heartbreaking as the loss is for Baltimore, I actually think they come away saying, you know, we got a pretty good roster. We got a pretty good squad. And I think throughout the course of the season, our style of play, it plays. It sounds weird saying it after you lose, but I actually think Baltimore's in a pretty good spot to have a great year.
Greg, Jay Will here. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Listen,
Good to meet you.
With all that being said, which team would you rather be on, the 1-0 team today or the 0-1 team?
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I want to play with Josh Allen, right? I mean, he's incredible. And again, like I said, it's always a lot easier to correct off the winning tape, right? Guys are more open-minded. Guys are a little bit more willing to be coached. You call a couple guys out. They got to get their defense fixed. Buffalo, McDermott, they knew all offseason, all their effort through the draft was getting that defense fit. And, you give up 20 in each half.
I feel like you just got bullied. The answer is you'd rather be on the Ravens. Coach, what do you think? You got bullied a little bit by the Jay Will. Wasn't even supposed to speak in that section.
Greg, I'm not a bully,
No.
Greg. Don't listen to that.
Bullied? No.
Well,
bullied.
you're saying in a locker room?
I started my whole answer. I started my whole answer saying, at the end of the day, you don't apologize for how you win. It's hard to win in the NFL. But if you ask me which model that I saw can extrapolate to more sustained success more often than not, I think relying on Superman every single week to just play out of his mind, even for the MVP of the league, I just think it's hard to count on that. They've got to get better in some other areas if I'm Buffalo.
Coach?
Yeah, I'm really concerned about the Ravens. I was out there this spring. They made a real effort to improve their pass defense. They have 5 first-round draft choices back there. Alexander showed up from Green Bay. I didn't feel his presence at all. Malachi Starks, Hamilton in the back end. You give up 400 yards passing in predictable situations. I didn't feel the fourth quarter pass rush. When you lose a lead like this and give up 41 points and you're a Baltimore Raven, this does not sit well. They got to go back to work. This is where Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, Suggs, these guys still come around the building, man. This is an embarrassing setback, I think, for the Ravens. They have put too much effort into this defense. They got shredded. And the head coach, Harbaugh, he punted the ball to put some confidence, I think, in his defense to go out there, win us a football game. But
you're talking on that last 4th and 2?
I thought that was a mistake. I think
it ended up being a mistake, but you're counting on your defense at some point in the game to get one stop.
I know, but I agree with you in theory, but I think in the course of the game, the same thing happened in my game yesterday, right? Seattle's got the ball. It's like 4th and an inch. It's 10-10. There's like 3.5 minutes to go. They've got the ball in like the plus 30, give or take, and they kick a field goal to go up 3. Purdy takes San Francisco down, and they end up getting a miraculous kind of scramble 3rd down touchdown, and they take the lead, and they end up winning. So often we see teams in those situations. In what point we just got done saying their defense wasn't good. Neither team's defense was good. One team scored 41 and won by a point. One scored 40 and lost. Neither defense was good. The fact that at any moment in that game you would say, hey, I'm going to rely on my defense to get us stops, coach. I'm saying my offense has been unstoppable. I've scored 40. I'm going to keep the foot on the pedal. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to put the ball in the hands of Lamar and Derrick Henry because they've been
So you're saying that 4th and 2 on their own 38, you don't get that. It's a field goal the other side. And by the way, Baltimore's defense, Coach, you're probably singing a different tune. If they stop them on 4th and 2, they gave up a touchdown the opening drive. After that, they played really good. Again, I know breaks, but that 4th and 2 or 4th and 3 that they scored, that was a crazy deflection. You're sitting here saying their defense played pretty good if that didn't happen. And then you have a quick turnover on their own 30. I mean, at some point, that's not on the defense.
They still gave up 500 yards, Dave. And they can't win a championship giving up 500 yards. That's without a doubt. This is a Raven defense. To win a championship, they have to do 2 things. They got to play a lot better than they did last night, and they got to start generating some turnovers. They only got 17 last year. They got 0 last night. This is a big play defense. This is the Baltimore Ravens. I'm holding their standard a lot higher than everybody else I think we're talking about in the league. It was a disappointing start for them. I hope they put the wheels back on and respond. I think that'll be key for this team.
All right, switching gears here. We're going to college football. I don't know if you guys saw this. I assume you did. Fran Brown, Syracuse, plays UConn. They pull a rabbit out of their hat. They're losing the whole game, come back, win in overtime. And what do we got after the game? We have Fran Brown making his team run wind sprints in front of everybody. Let's roll the clip So you guys can see it. I assume you saw it. Seems a little bit performative here. And the guys aren't exactly busting ass either. They're kind of slow wind sprints. You guys coached and played. Coach, have you ever made your team run wind sprints after a game, win, loss, or either?
No, I have not, but I have seen Howard Schnellenberger at Louisville when my brother was the quarterback have a 1 a.m. scrimmage in pouring rain after they got beat by Memphis. I don't think this is a real good thing for Syracuse football. If I was one of those players, I would be a little bit embarrassed today.
Greg, you ever have to run sprints after a game?
I'd rather do I agree with Coach. I'd rather the 1 o'clock scrimmage in the rain. To me, this is about doing it in front of everyone and saying, look at us, look how much we care, look how much I care. It does feel performative. I have no problem with accountability. I have no problem with getting in guys' faces and challenging them, especially if you don't feel like they're playing up to the standard. I think Fran Brown's done a great job in just a short time kind of building that culture in Syracuse and getting them relevant in the football world. But I just think there's a time and a place. And I think anytime, I'm not a big, like, look at me, go out there and put yourself on the platform. And I don't know. I'm with Coach. I don't love it. I think there's other ways to do it behind the scenes to make sure you get guys' attention, that there's an expectation of level of performance and standard and all of those things. I don't know if it needs to be on the field. That feels like I don't know. I'm with Coach. I don't love it. If I'm one of those players, I'm looking around saying, this is major college football. This is, I don't know, this doesn't feel like that.